Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of equipment leasing. We're going to break down how you can turn it from just another monthly bill into a really powerful financial strategy that can turbocharge the growth of your business here in Canada. All right, let's jump right in. You know, it's the classic small business dilemma, isn't it? You know you need that new piece of gear or that new tech to scale up and stay competitive. But man, the idea of just emptying your bank account to pay for it, that's a huge hurdle. And that's where the strategy really starts to matter. So let's completely reframe how we think about this. Leasing, it's not just a backup plan. When you do it right, it's actually a super smart, proactive move that protects your most valuable resource, your cash, while getting you the exact tools you need to win. Okay, so before you even think about signing on the dotted line, it all comes down to one core question, really. Are you in this to own the asset in the long run, or do you just need to use it for a while? Seriously, your answer to that one question is going to shape everything else. And yeah, this slide lays it all out perfectly. With leasing, you're keeping those upfront costs way down, and you get that flexibility to upgrade, which, is a game changer in industries that move fast. Buying, on the flip side, well, you own it. You build that equity. But, and it's a big but, you're on the hook for that massive initial payment and all the upkeep. All right, so that big question we just talked about, use versus own, it basically sends you down one of two very different paths. And figuring out which path you're on right from the get-go, it is absolutely critical. So path number one is what we call an operating lease. You'll also hear it called a fair market value or FMV lease. Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is like a true rental. It's perfect for things that get old fast, right? Like IT gear or medical equipment. You really don't want to be stuck with tech that's basically a doorstop in 3 years. And then you've got path number two, the capital lease. You probably know it as the famous $1 buyout lease. This thing is basically a loan dressed up as a lease. Every payment you make builds equity, and then, at the very end of the term, boom, you own it for a buck. This is the go-to for the heavy-duty stuff, the long-life assets like manufacturing machines or construction gear that you plan on using for years and years. Okay, so this table just makes it super clear, laying out the two paths right next to each other. So if flexibility is your main goal, you're looking at the FMV lease. The payments are lower and you've got options when it's over. But if ownership is the end game, then the $1 buyout is for you. Yeah, the payments are higher, but that piece of equipment is yours when all is said and done. All right. Let's get to the good stuff. This is the part that every business owner, myself included, gets really excited about. The money side of things that happens while you have the lease. I'm talking about some serious, powerful benefits for your taxes and your cash flow. This number right here, it's huge. See, in Canada, the CRA usually looks at lease payments as a regular operating expense. And what does that mean for you? It means those payments can be 100% tax deductible. And this is where it gets really interesting. With a loan, you can only deduct the interest, but with a lease, you can generally write off the whole payment. We're talking principal and interest. On a big piece of equipment, that difference can have a massive, massive impact on how much tax you pay, which frees up so much cash for the rest of your business. And here's another huge win for your cash flow. Think about it. When you buy equipment with a loan, you have to fork over all that sales tax, the GST, HST, PST, all in one giant, painful payment right at the start. But with a lease? Nah. You pay that tax in little bits and pieces on top of each monthly payment. This can literally keep thousands of dollars in your pocket, right where you need it, as working capital. Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk about a more advanced tool, the balloon payment. Now, this is a special feature that can make your monthly payments way, way lower. But, and this is a big but, it comes with a pretty serious catch that you absolutely have to be ready for. This slide really nails the dilemma here. The good part? It's obvious, right? Lower monthly payments. That frees up cash, which is great, especially for seasonal businesses. The bad part? Well, it's that giant payment lurking at the end of the term. If you haven't planned for it, you could be in for a world of hurt. And I want to be crystal clear about this. This quote really says it all. A balloon payment is not an option, it's an obligation. It's a massive payment that you absolutely, positively have to make. It's a powerful tool for sure, but you've got to treat it with respect and do your homework with the numbers. Okay, so this brings us to what happens at the very end. Look, a really smart lease strategy isn't just about what you pay each month. It's about knowing your exit plan from day one. You have to know how you're getting out of this thing before you even get in.
Think of this table as your playbook. If you know for a fact you want to own that gear, the $1 buyout is a no-brainer. If you care more about flexibility and keeping payments low, then the FMV option is your best bet, because you can decide what to do later. And if you're looking for something in the middle, a fixed percentage buyout, say 10%, gives you a predictable price at the end without the super high payments of a $1 lease. It's a nice balance.
Look, before you sign anything at all, you have to go in there armed with the right questions. Like, you need to know exactly what all your buyout options are. Are there any hidden fees or penalties? What's the real cost going to be? Getting all this straight from the beginning protects you from nasty surprises later. Seriously, never assume anything. Always ask.
All right, so let's wrap this all up. We've walked through that big decision, use versus own. We've talked about the awesome tax advantages, and we've hammered home how important it is to have a clear exit strategy.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all best lease. The right choice is completely tailored to your business, your goals for cash flow, for taxes, and for what you want to do with that asset. It's all about shifting your mindset from should I lease to how should I lease to make my business stronger. So I'll leave you with this final question to think about. Is your next lease just going to be a simple rental, or are you going to turn it into a strategic financial tool that actually helps you grow? Something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.